What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. This is going to be a really cool comp that's been popping up on Ladder recently. Robin Songs is someone who tweeted about it, so I thought it'd be nice to VOD review him. But I've heard that it sort of like was created by ISG Michael, so should be really cool to check out. Also, before we get into the VOD, just want to give a quick shout out to Tactor, where I'm going to be posting a guide to this comp. I'm going to have the link to it down in the description below. If you guys could please go to the comp, and then if you click the like button, it helps out infinite. So please check out the comp. I will have, augments that are good with the comp, how you should play the early game, itemization stuff for the comp. So it should be really helpful for anyone who is trying to figure out how to play this comp. But also, if you click the like button, it helps me out and it'll help other people see the guide, which, I mean, maybe you don't want to do because then like other people will like get information, but like, come on, you guys are my viewers. You're nice people, right? Other thing is that it's my birthday today. Woo! I'm actually recording this on my birthday because I don't record videos ahead of time because I'm terrible nowadays. So yeah, happy birthday to me. 52 years young today. No, I'm actually 26, which is still kind of old, but honestly, in the TFT community, it's like not that old. I will be streaming later today, so if you guys want to catch the birthday stream, I'll be live at around 5:30 Eastern time, maybe 5:36 Eastern time. We got a Heartsteel start here and some AD items here. Could even just take you out my sword here and look to slam an IE, which I tend to like a lot in spots like this. But this is the kind of opener where you want to play this comp. This is a Heartsteel comp first and foremost, but it uses Heartsteel and Ezreal as the Heartsteel carry to duo carry Zed, which is really cool. And we'll get to that a little bit later, but all that to say, when you see an opener like this where you have Heartsteel early, you should definitely already be thinking about playing this comp. And you see Robin Songs is going to call Yone. One of the nice things about this comp is that it's a really good insurance policy if you play a Yone game but then don't hit Yone. So you kind of like low roll for your Yone angle. We'll see what ends up happening this game because I know Robin plays this comp, but I haven't actually watched the entire VOD through. Because I literally just I wanted to VOD review this game and do a video about this comp because I literally just played this comp. I was in the exact same spot that Robin was in, where I had a good early game for Heartsteel, and I thought I was going to play Yone, but then someone else, like a psychopath, took prismatic golden ticket. I guess it's just called, what is it called? Prismatic ticket? The prismatic one, and then rolled down for Yones, and they held like 8 Yones, 8 Rivens, and then just went 8th with 8 Yones, 8 Rivens. I was like, what is this person doing? But I obviously in that game couldn't play Yone, couldn't play Riven, and so exactly like this. Look, Robin scouts around and sees there's someone who looks like they're hard forcing Yone. This is a meta where Yone and Riven are both very popular, so you very often will find yourself in a spot very similar to Robin's this game, where you have Yone items, you have a Heartsteel start, but you don't actually get the opportunity to play Yone because it's so contested. One thing I'm a bit surprised about is that Robin didn't opt to slam the IE. I mean, I assume he just wants to go for this full lock streak here. Evan's Shroud on the set seems really nice. Yeah, I love that. We don't have Heartsteel chosen yet, but if we manage to pick up a Heartsteel chosen, we can just get 5 Heartsteel with this, or if we high roll an Ezreal. But it's also Evan Shroud, like, yeah, perfect unit, perfect item, I would say. Also, there's someone who's already Olaf 3, which is pretty crazy. Do note that that Robin's scouting pretty aggressively here, which I think makes a lot of sense. What do you do here? I mean, you're forced to make 30 gold, right? Oh, it looks like he's not actually that interested in making 30. I would always be interested in selling this Aphelios here, because the chance that you hit a Heartsteel chosen is not that high, but looks like he's just going to greed out the possibility of hitting a Heartsteel chosen here, because like you have to hit Ezreal, you're not even level 5 yet. You can find the Aphelios again later, but yeah, Robin's just going to greed for the full possibility of hitting this 5 Heartsteel opener, and he gets a good 4 loss, brings himself to 40 stacks because he lost all those fights. He could actually raise the stakes, but it's really scary in a lobby like this where there's a lot of people who look like they're playing for loss streak. So yeah, I just like taking the cash out there. I know it's not the most cool thing to do, not the most woke thing to do, but I think for your own LP it tends to be a good play. Also, some people shouted out the I am Knopf hoodie. Courtesy of Mattel, I guess. Not really. I mean, it's not sponsored anyway. This shit was expensive. I had to buy it, but I'm a weirdo, so I was like, the Barbie movie was so good. Okay, I'm done yapping. Picks up a Riven here, so you can already sort of see the idea of like maybe we have an out to play like Riven instead, especially if the other person is playing Yone. When you play this angle, you do kind of have to you kind of have to let yourself take the outs that you can take. If you just roll down for one specific unit, very often you will find yourself with just nothing that you can play around, and then you'll just end up going 8th. So, you know, take what you can play around. He's actually not going to even hold the ribbon here, though, so not interested in that whatsoever. It's very possible that in his head, he's already said, okay, I know I'm contested Yone. I am just, and I think, yeah, he's going to make red buff here, red buff Evan Shroud plus Crown Guard here. I think he said this is contested Yone. I know I called Yone earlier, but I'm not actually interested in playing Yone this game because it's just so hard to play from this spot. So I think in Robin's head, he's already saying, I'm going to play around. Yep, and he might actually start building now the team builder right now. Yep, exactly. And he's going to start building out this Zed Ezreal duo carry comp in the team builder and say, I'm going to play this. So yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic spot to play this comp, right? You have good Ezreal items, you're contested Yone, so you can't really play Yone. It just makes perfect sense. Surprised he didn't even slam Hodge, because I mean, I guess he wants to greed for like a blue buff or something. Last Stand, another fantastic augment to pick up in a spot like this when you're already really low, and your Heartsteel can allow you to greed like a 5 Heartsteel later potentially, and get like a huge cash out, which will allow you to win the game with this comp. But the nice thing about this comp, opposed to like a regular Ezreal carry comp, is I feel like when you're playing just Ezreal as your solo carry and then like eventually getting to like big shot duo carry, like eventually getting to Jhin, you really need those huge cash outs to even be able to play for the game. Also, this person was playing Riven, so I think that's why he didn't want to end up holding Riven. I think he said, I have to play this Ezreal Zed comp from this spot. But the nice thing about this comp is with the duo carry of Ezreal and Zed, you're actually like relatively stable on 8, but you can still play to super high cap. So it's actually like the best of both worlds. And you guys will see later game like how perfectly this comp fits together. It's just it's a beautiful comp. This is one of the I love when stuff like this happens in TFT, when a new comp is discovered and just like every little piece just like fits together perfectly. Edgelord emblem. Oh, that guy just oh no. I mean, that's how it is sometimes this patch. That guy gets an Edgelord emblem, and he's like 10-way contested in Edgelords. Like, he just has to go 8th. But that's a nice thing, right? Is that this comp exists. It's just a really nice, like, safety valve where, you know, you say, like, oh, I don't know if I can actually play the comp that I want. Boom, I just play this. 59 stacks, a little bit unfortunate for Robin, but at least he got a good loss in there. But yeah, there's an Ezreal on Carousel. That's 5 Heartsteel. It could potentially be Hodge, and then you can hold the glove. He could greed for blue buff later. Down the line, we'll see. I really like Hodge in this comp because you can put it onto Zed. It's a fantastic Zed item. You can go like Hodge IE for your Zed items, but we'll see. He's, I think based on what his chat was saying, it looks like he's considering raising the stakes here. I don't know. I am so fearful of getting griefed on stuff like this, especially Reroll, who is 44 HP. He's going to go for it. All right, he's going to go for the raise the stakes here. He just has to be a little bit careful. He's going to move his Evan Shroud to the other side. I definitely would have scouted more before doing this, but I think he's going to say, I'm 5 Heartsteel. I can just raise the stakes, and my board should be bad enough to lose to everyone, especially if I don't make any upgrades on like 4-1, 4-2. I mean, I think it's a fantastic spot to raise the stakes. I really would have liked to scout a little bit more here, like Rahu's board, but his board actually looks pretty fine. And he can't lose forever. You just have to make sure, you have to find what the weakest board is. Like that person who was just rolling down for Riven 3, like if they miss on Riven 3, their board can actually end up being quite weak. They end up at least moving their items over to Riven, so it's definitely fine, and we're going to kill a few units, so not the end of the world. We do continue to keep our Heartsteel stacking up. That's only 2 losses, and we're at 239 stacks. If we can get 2 more good losses, we will be in heaven. Also, speaking of heaven, oh my god, look at this shop. We get the Zac already, which is going to come into our board later. We get an Ezreal paired up, and we get the Bard, which we would like to fit on our board later. We'll see how it ends up fitting onto his board, because it's a little bit hard sometimes to play around Jazz. I mean, it depends on what you get. I played a really interesting version of this comp the other, well, you know, just earlier today. Items-wise here, I still like the idea of IE Hodge, and then save the sword. But he could also go for just double IEs, I guess. But yeah, I like IE Hodge for the Zed, and you just make double IE onto the Aphelios. Now, if this opponent looks really strong, they don't look that strong. Now that they slam items onto Yone, they're looking a lot stronger. So yeah, you could probably afford to make the second IE here, but I think Robin's just afraid of accidentally cashing out. 30 HP down to 18. He might get this last stand proc at 4-2, which would be pretty early, because he has one more fight to go. I really like something like Cybernetic Bulk in this comp. Yeah, you're gonna get so many items from your cash out, very likely. It also scales really well with the stats from last stand, so yeah, I like Bulk a lot here. But yeah, the only scary thing is there's another last stand player. We have to cap out higher than them. So far, it looks like we definitely will. But it also looks like they might be playing for this board. They put an Ezreal in. Wow, what a play by Robin. He says, I have to. This person is like almost griefing me. I have to. Yeah, really, really smart by Robin because we end up fighting them. And yeah, if we had, I mean, we probably were always losing this fight, but it's actually like, it's actually possible that we could have, if they had put no items on Ezreal and we had our items on Aphelios, it's possible we could have won the fight, and then the game would have been very difficult. But we lose the fight, get to 500 stacks, and we don't proc last stand. That's so huge, because we could actually pivot. Oh, he looked like he was about to click raise the stakes there. Yeah, I really like pivoting on this round, even though you're going to lose a little bit of gold. I like just getting the board in so that you can have as much value as possible from your last stand. Yeah, got to get the Zac in here. Really just looking for the Zed at this point, which usually would come in over like where the Ziggs is. He is going to build the IE Hodge, has a last Whisper that he can build here, blue buff for Ezreal, which is perfect. Wow, great items. And then GS for Zed, it looked like. I think he might have put it on the Caitlyn for now, because he just wanted some kind of headliner in. He doesn't want to proc last stand. Oh my god, he got a proc there. He wanted to just delay the proc as long as possible. You can pick up a Kiana or a Lucian here. Both are fantastic units. He's going to go for the Lucian. It's going to be interesting to see how he actually fits it, though, because he's playing a lot of units, and he still doesn't have the Zed in. Like, I mean, like, you'd maybe want to get it in with the Caitlyn is the idea. I mean, maybe he opts to not. Yeah, he's just going to do this, which is a bit more. Yeah, he's going to end up getting that Ziggs and that Bard out and just playing this version of the board, which the nice thing about this comp is how high it caps. What's really scary, though, is we didn't hit Headliner Ezreal, we didn't hit Headliner Zed, so we're carrying this Caitlyn for now. Our board is not the strongest of all time, but hopefully it's good enough to stay alive. Look at how much damage with the last stand, with all the stuff that the Ezreal does. Yeah, so we're going to win that fight, and we're just sitting here on like 5 pairs, right? Okay, now we've 4 pairs, and now we've sold the Yone pair because we don't really need that so much, and we get the MF too, and he's going to EDM the Zed and continue to roll down, look for his really important 2-star units. The nice thing is at least we have items on this set. But yeah, I mean, the Caitlyn's a nice unit to keep in here. Yeah, he's even going to move items over to the Caitlyn, because a Caitlyn 2 with Headliner is a Caitlyn 2. We're going to fight a Riven 3 board here, which is so scary. At least it's clone. Oh my god, the Caitlyn does enough damage, though, to end up killing the Riven really quickly. We just have so much damage on this board with the Jazz, with the last stand. Yeah, our board actually does an insane amount of damage, which is pretty impressive considering that our spot looked very scary a second ago. I mean, it still does. There's Yone too. But yeah, I mean, this is, I would say, a pretty standard version of the board. You usually aren't playing this Caitlyn headliner. You're just playing around the Ezreal plus the Zed carries. And then Caitlyn can come out for stuff like Jazz. Can also just come out. You can end up playing stuff like Alawi later down the line. But yeah, this is a pretty cool version of it. Rolling down here, fighting Ezreal. Now we find another Lucian. Oh, and there's also like the idea of eventually playing like Ziggs, like we ended up playing. Gonna finish out Ezreal items here, slam an item onto Zac for a little bit of HP. And yeah, we have a very tanky backline. We would love to get a bit tankier of a front line, because our front line is still pretty underwhelming. Just Zac 1 is our only, Zac 1 and then the Set 2 are our only real tanks, but Set's a monster. Our backline does so much damage, and you can just see why this comp is nice. And the other nice thing is we get to keep Heartsteel in, right? We still have Heartsteel in on this board, which is going to allow us to get cash outs down the line while we're winning fights during later stages. So look, we get a cash out, we get a cloak here. This can be just cloak to spread bulk. He also sees Crowd Ever Zed here, but he's going to opt to not pick it up just because he has so many carry items. He kind of needs to triple carry this game. But this is a cool version, right? Where you just fit in the 8-bit Caitlyn, and it fits in perfectly with the Jazz. Like, this isn't even the version that I was playing earlier, but this version's another really cool flex option. I feel like there are just so many versions of this board you can play. Like, I played a Pentakill version earlier today just because Pentakill is such a nice trait to get in late game. Like, I feel like there are so many different versions of this board that you can play. There's the Z2 finally. Now we have all of our upgrades, and now we can start to think about potentially pushing 9, because we do need to cap out above, like I was talking about, that other last stand player. We'll see if we can. But our board should be very strong at this point. Z2, Caitlyn 2, Zac 2. And okay, so I want to talk about a little bit of the synergies of just how this comp works. This actually isn't a really good fight to sort of explain it, but well, hopefully we end up fighting. I don't know if there actually are any like disco players in the lobby, but I was playing into a disco board and I realized that like one of the really nice things about this comp, and what are we taking here? Just the Kiana for Kiana. You can later down the line end up cutting this Yone for Kiana. I don't know if he wants to cut it right now though. Just because I don't really think Kiana 1's stronger than Yone 2. I guess we'll see. I think he just took it for the component and maybe the Kiana on 9, but you might have to end up selling this Kiana for Econ, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, he just ends up selling it. But the Vow is a solid item. You can slam it onto Zac. I guess you could slam it on backline if you want bulk value, but that seems strange to do. In any case, yeah, here's the last stand player. Like, this is the person we have to outcap. We are going to fight them here, so this is a really, really important fight. But okay, so one of the things I want to talk about, and it's kind of relevant here, right? When the Yone dies, he crowd divers backline. Also, wow, what a stomp. Robin's board is so strong with just the Caitlyn and everything that he's hit. But yeah, so the crowd diver, especially if you're playing into like a disco board, which is so popular right now, this comp just absolutely farms disco. What's going to happen if someone corners their backliner or like puts a clump in the corner is that crowd divers are going to die, right? This Yone is going to die. He's going to fly to the backline and hit that backliner. And then Ezreal is going to cast and hit that backliner. Caitlyn's another added unit that can do something similar. But like, this is really, really nice where like, when the Zed dies, he's going to fly over, hit that Seraphine, do a little bit of damage, and stun her, which makes it really, really easy for Ezreal to sort of like take the stun and then ult, use a little bit of damage there, and then use his ult damage to actually end up finishing off the target. So it's really, really cool, I feel like, how this comp actually fits together, not only synergistically with the fact that Zac fits in as well as, like this sort of Zac Zed EDM pair with the set, which, ends up getting Heartsteel in, but also just with the way that the units actually work together. The other nice thing is like both Zed and Ezreal are sort of like, they're both frontliners and, they're both like front to back units, but also units that can end up getting really insane pickups if they can wrap. Like Zed is a unit where if he, like, we're putting Zed on the edge here every time, though this is kind of a scary fight, but at least we have the red buff, same side as the Zed, which means we'll probably just burn through the Riven. Yeah, Robin looks scared for a second, but his board is so strong here. But yeah, like Zed and Ezreal are both units that have to go front to back, right? They have no way of getting to the backline, but if they do end up getting to the backline, like imagine Zed ends up wrapping and hitting backline units, then the Zed and the Ezreal also work together. They're both front to back units that also in some ways can do damage to backliners. So it's pretty cool how this comp works together, I would say. I like it a lot. He's also just randomly getting Mosher in here just for, another synergy for Jazz. It's like, once you get to like really, really high levels with this comp, it's kind of hard to find stuff to fit in later on because like you have the crowd diver in already, you have the EDM, and it's not like you're gonna add another. It's not like you're gonna add like Lux, right? It just doesn't really do too much for the board. He's gonna pick up the Urgot too, which is a pretty nice upgrade, just as a little bit more frontline for this board. Really interesting position actually. He just has the two Evans Shrouds on both sides, so either side is always getting shredded, and then he has the Urgot in the middle just to sort of like hold the line a little bit. This is the guy that Robin was a bit scared of earlier because he has this Kayn 2 and the Yone 3, but still. Just, it's clone, but we just tear through this board. Look at how much damage this comp has. Like, I don't know. It's just an insane board. I think this comp's gonna really, really rise in popularity. I haven't seen too many people playing it recently in my own games, but I feel like it's going to really, really start to pop off soon. And there's the Bard finally for 3 Jazz. Even though we end up losing a good frontliner, you just put the Bard in because 3 Jazz is really, look at how many we have. What is that, 8 synergies in? Yeah, so with 3 Jazz, 8 synergies is insane. At this point, he's also going to get out of Heartsteel finally and get in the Kiana because he has a true damage spat, which is a really nice pickup. You can just true damage, true damage to the Lucian, and then you get to play 2 true damage, and you get to get the Kiana in, which like I was talking about, like, I don't know how much stronger it actually is than Yone 2. It definitely has a much better ability. It's just HP-wise, it might end up dying really quickly. You kind of have to protect it. This is also the other cap, which is playing into a Lowy over the set. So yeah, this is kind of like, this was a really, really perfectly instructive game where we saw like the early level 8 board, and now he's like pivoting into level 9 board. It's a little scary because like, once again, like set 2 is a much tankier unit than a Lowy 1 is, but of course Lowy 1 spell is a lot more relevant, and I think he realizes that in fights like these, especially versus this Karthus, these tentacles are going to be really, really valuable, so it makes a lot of sense as an addition here, even if the unit itself is not tankier. And because we're level 9, now we can roll down, pick up stuff like Kiana 2, and just end up winning out the lobby, so... It's a really, really cool comp, and I hope you guys get to try it out. And also check out the guide, right, that I am going to post for it so that you guys get some extra info on like what augments you're supposed to take, all that kind of stuff. One more fights, potentially. We're going to roll down here, look for all of our 2 stars. We are going to hit absolutely nothing. That's incredible that we rolled 40 gold and hit nothing. I just need to pick up an item for Lucian, and it's going to be GS. Perfect. Yeah, we don't really have anyone else to itemize outside of the Kiana, and we're going to fight one more time against this Yone board, which just seems outcapped. The Zac CC is so good for this board. Actually, a little scary for a second there, but at the end, it's easy. I feel like Robin killed like 6 people this lobby or something. I feel like I've seen this cutscene so many times. So I'll pause at the end here just to show you guys the final comp one more time. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this is your first time seeing the comp, check like play this in your games if you get a Heartsteel start, because it is so strong. Like I said, check out the guide to the Tactor version down below, and I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll see you guys later if you want to pop in on the birthday stream. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging out for another year of my life. It's been fun. I love TFT. I love making videos for you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.